Recording in progress.
Welcome, Lydia and Corsi, Ashley, Hugo, Dash, Simisile, Constance, Charmaine. Welcome to each of you.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning, everyone.
Susanna, welcome.
Good morning. No.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sound is clear. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Good morning. Those that are on Zoom, can you all hear us?
Morning. Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Great.
I can hear you.
Chris, if you just want to say hi and just everyone in Zoom, if just give us a thumbs up if you can hear him. Chris, if you want to go ahead and just say hi so everyone can just hear you.
Greetings all, we're about to start, and so greetings to all of you. Glad that you have connected with us today, and we really are excited and thrilled to be able to just share this moment with you. Thank you for making this opportunity available to yourselves, and we are blessed by your presence. God is with us, God goes before us, and we rejoice together. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. So welcome to each of you. Friends, we are going to set into this. A number of people obviously will still be joining us as they are able to connect in, and we are thrilled about that. Thank you for using the various platforms that we have made available to you, and we're excited to just share this moment together. We ask God's blessing and God's wisdom and God's guidance, and mostly God's love to be known amongst us here today. So blessings on you and welcome to you. It is good to be together in this space. want to just say that as we share together, you will notice what we have put up on this. We are running these on Wednesday mornings and Thursday evenings for 4 weeks. And we're inviting you to put your Q&As your questions for us to engage with and answer, either through the chats or through the WhatsApp. And we will filter these through and share these with the answers to these as we go along. But our real focus is to come alongside you to strengthen your ability to engage with God's mission as we connect the body of Christ to serve God's people in the world. So that's the reason for the existence of MyChurchIT, and we are therefore grateful for this moment when you can engage with us. So do share with us some of the things as we talk along the way. Maybe you can put your name, even now as we get folk to connect in. Maybe you can put your name and where you are from in the chat box, in the chat sections, so that we can then get a bit of a feedback from where you are and which community you represent and so on. So your name and where you're from, perhaps we would mean by that if you are in some part of Southern Africa and which church you are connected to. That'll help us to just get a feel for the audience today and connect us with each other. So bless you for that. So we're going to give another minute or so for other folk to join in with us. Just take a moment just to be still in God's presence. And we share in just realizing that we're in the presence of God, who says, be still and know that we are God. So we just spend a moment in stillness while people are putting their information into the chat box. So thank you for the messages that are coming through. This is exciting for us to have you from all over the place in parts of South Africa. And thank you for putting that in. Okay. Eastern Cape, Tshwane, Johannesburg, Natal. Grateful for all of these moments to engage with you. Okay. So while folk are still doing that, we are going to just talk a little bit as we share together, and I'm going to just share my PowerPoint so that we can then talk a little bit about these things. So I'm going to share this with you from my browser. So friends, as we engage with you, we want to empower each other, empowering the church, for we are the church. So maybe you want to just say with me, we are church. Just say out loud wherever you are, even though you're muted. We are church, because we are gathered together as the church of Jesus Christ throughout the world. And we are here to empower each other to use technology for God's glory and God's kingdom. So as we think about what this means for us, just a particular statement that I think you've heard many times before. Technically speaking, Moses was the first person using tablets to receive downloads from the cloud. I really like that. And it just reminds us that God is the originator of all things. God has created all things. In him we live and move and have our being. God is the originator of everything, and to him be the glory in this space today. And just as we are receiving information from God each day as he speaks to us through his continued word, we are receiving good news. And I trust that this will be good news for you today. Okay. I do invite you to continue to put your name and where you're from into the chat box so that we can just connect with you and receive that information. That'll be great. But let me introduce myself. My name is the Reverend Christopher Harrison. My background is in the Methodist Church of Southern Africa, where I'm an ordained minister and have been for the last 40 years. And I've served in a number of congregations. And in each of those congregations, we've used technology. And so this is not new to me. This is something that I've been grateful to have created teams and enabled teams to make technology serve the church. And it's been an experience for me. I've served in small churches and in large churches right across Southern Africa, and we are grateful for that privilege that I have had to be in ministry and to share with others using technology. So I'm married, and I have 2 married daughters, and we are grateful to that each of us in our family are preachers of the gospel and messengers of the good news of Jesus. And we are grateful that our my sons-in-law have joined in the sharing of the gospel as well. So that's a bit about us. But and I live in Johannesburg, in Randburg, and I'm grateful to share with you today. All right, let's launch in with just a bit of an introduction. When we talk about technology, obviously technology has been around for a long time and it evolves and grows. And it is neutral. Like anything in life, money, sex, and power, it can be used for good and evil. But technology is shaping our lives right now. It's shaping people's belief systems and algorithms and so on have been manufactured to tailor-make certain things to certain people. But it does shape what we believe and how we live, and therefore also how we minister. So the question is, how does our faith leverage technology? What is the faith that we have that is rooted in Jesus, who's our rock and our fortress, the ground of our being? But how do we leverage technology at this particular time? And how can you guide the church's use of it, your church's use of it? And I'm guessing that's why you're here today, is to say we are people who can use technology ourselves personally, but how can the church do that? One of my gurus that I've really enjoyed is Leonard Sweet. He's a famous Methodist, and he says the gospel is nothing without relationship, and no one gets it like the Google generation. Now, a while back, I had lunch with him, and he was sharing with me just how the vision of not the written scriptures that come from the Gutenberg age, but the Google age has made interaction with people so much more real and tangible. The biblical basis behind that is that God has created the ability to communicate and has created many billions of years ago the technology that we are leveraging now, the ability for technology to engage with things that God has created and make it available to us. And even from the earliest days, skilled artisans were using tools for God's glory. And therefore, we must use technology to connect people, build relationships. And so technology doesn't replace relationships, but it enables it. And the Google generation knows that. And we have seen that exponentially through the world. Now, here's a question by Phil Bowdle, who says the church doesn't have a message problem. The church is facing a message delivery problem. Essentially, the gospel is still the gospel, and the good news is still the good news. And as Mos Nkla, the head of the General Secretary of TISA, says, the good news is only good news if it's good news. And yes, we have good news. And we have this great message that God has entrusted to us. But the problem is the message delivery issue. And how can we deliver that message with making as little mess as possible? Like a waitress or waiter delivering food that the chef has made, incredibly good food. But how can we deliver that to the people who are going to enjoy it with as little mess as possible? And technology helps us to do that. And so the church, for the church, this means its eternal message is perfect, but its methods of communication must adapt adapt to reach modern audiences effectively. So here's some solutions to that particular problem. One of the things that this person Phil has said is the playbook that got us to where we are is not going to get us further. We have to rethink how we communicate to reach those inside and outside the walls of our church in order to break down barriers. And if the mission of God is to break down barriers so that we can offer the gospel, we need to rethink our communication. Right. One of the challenges that we have known over the last number of years is that technology not only is a disruptor, but it has changed so much of the way in which we engage. Just think for a moment, Kodak was the dominant provider through the years, and they invented digital cameras. But the directors decided not to go that route and remain with what they had. And so Kodak lost the plot and lost the market share. As you can see from the picture, the tidal wave, therefore, has moved to digital photography. And all of us who have smartphones and whatever else, you are using that already. So we need to make sure that we are thinking and engaging with modern technology and innovations to see how we can use them for the kingdom of God. Okay. Many folk have said to me, and it's the internet usage on the internet, and that's my spelling error. 45.34 million people are using the internet. That's 74% of our people in South Africa are using the internet. 118 million mobile connections are active. That's 195%. Wow, that's an incredible statistic. When you think about the people who are 16 to 64 years, they are spending an average of 9 hours and 24 minutes each day on the internet using any form of device. That's just mind-blowing. This is not just young people, but even folk in my age bracket are spending an average of that level each day. So the usage of the internet in South Africa is increasing exponentially. And you can see from the graph, we above the average in that particular space. And we are moving towards using technology, not just for personal life, but also for church life. Now, the reasons people are using the internet, they are for finding information, to doing research, to staying in touch with friends. And so when you realize that in South Africa, people are already using technology, and what the video learning, 83.6 people are using video learning to find information. How do I fix this? How do I do this? What is this bit of thing that I've heard about? What is it? They use it almost 80% for research, and 72.5% use it to connect with family and friends. Almost 70% for inspiration, others for news. 2/3 of South Africa are using video online learning to update themselves on information that is coming from the world. I think that's very exciting. So let's just run briefly through in the next couple of minutes about the 8 benefits of using technology in your church. Number 1, expanded outreach. God has created for us an opportunity to expand our reach. Technology is the means that we can use this. Jesus connected with people anywhere and desires that this be normal for us as well. He walked from Jerusalem through Samaria to Galilee and so on. And that connecting that he had by doing that is the model for us to use technology to connect with people in the same way. But the map I put there is the road system that the Romans built. And because they had such effective roads, some of those roads even still exist 2,000 years later, but they expanded the reach of people in their time. And I'm saying, how are we expanding our reach? Part of the current mission of Facebook is to bring the world closer together. What about us? Are we using technology to bring people closer together in relationships? So to take a moment just to pause and to think, does your church have a technology strategy? Does it? Maybe write down on a piece of paper, what is that strategy? What do you think about the strategy that your church does have, and how could that be improved? And if you could meaningfully connect with anyone in your community beyond, do you have a game plan for that? Just take a few seconds to think about that and what that means for your local church in terms of expanded reach. Take a few seconds to write some things down. You maybe continue to think about that. But the second benefit is intelligent decision making. The ability to leverage data is exponentially increasing year by year. And data really makes a difference. You can only manage what you can measure, says Peter Drucker. And so statistics are important. Now, here's an illustration. One of my colleagues went and used the church management system that we offer, the My Anglican, and he looked at the average age of his congregation. And you can see by the picture of the graph that I put there, a huge number of children and young adults in his church. And so when he realized that he was getting older, but the young people in the church was the growing edge of the church, he took this graph and he went to the leaders of his congregation and said, how can we address this issue? I'm getting older. The congregation is getting younger. How do we address this? And within one meeting, they made a decision to bring in a set of staff members to minister to the children and the young adults and the teenagers. And that congregation continues to grow today because they used the statistics to help them make decisions. And so statistics are important. It's not just conjecture or assumption. It's based on fact, and facts are friends. And so it helps you, technology helps you to make intelligent decisions about the future of your church. So just take a moment and just think for a few seconds. How is your church gathering its information and its data? And have you been able to use that data for decision making? Just think about that for a moment. Maybe as you continue doing this, the other benefit is radical collaboration in the oneness. God has one bride, one church. And you see, because the church is one. I was in a meeting in Bulawayo 2 weeks ago, and there were 10 congregations in this particular meeting to which I was invited. And I said, lovely to have all the congregations here. How many churches are present? And the guy sitting right in the front row put up his hand and he said, 1. And I wanted to give him the PhD right there, because yes, there is only one church. And so the church is not in competition with itself. It's in collaboration with itself. And technology enables us to do things and have things and make things work that we can share with others. And people need to feel they belong. They belong to something bigger than themselves. But the beautiful thing is that they can belong to this church or that church, but they belong to the bigger church of Jesus Christ. And that resources are available that can be shared. And that oneness is a fantastic gift to our church. And does your church therefore have a heart positioned towards giving beyond your members to other churches in your area and the world? Just take a few seconds and think about how your church is doing that. The fourth one, mobilized and equipped congregations. The picture that I've put over there is the mobile app, the YouVersion Bible app. Can you almost see? It's an incredible thing that we have millions of people close to 1 billion people just using this one app, a free app, so they can learn about Jesus. One of the friends that I met, he was a stranger until I took him to lunch, told me that someone gave him the Gospels, and he came to faith in Jesus simply by reading the Gospels. And this free app is available, so we can just refer people to it so that they can see it. And there are other things, videos and stories, etc., freely available. And that's exciting for us. The challenge will no longer be to acquire information, but are we guiding our congregations to know how to use that information? Are we pointing them in the right direction? Are we enabling them to have this? I've often said to churches that every church should offer free Wi-Fi, make Wi-Fi freely available to those who gather on the church site, so that they can be extra lessons, they can learn, they can get CVs done, they can find employment, they can engage at the same time as being made disciples of on the church property. And so we are mobilizing and equipping our congregations by pointing them in that direction, helping them to have tools that they know how to use so that they can grow and be equipped for serving God in the world. So take a moment. Is your congregation leveraging technology to provide free resources and training to equip your congregation? Think about how you are doing that and how you could do that better in the future or from now. Take a few seconds just to think about that question. Is your church leveraging technology to provide free resources and training to equip your congregation? Think about that. We move on to number 5. One of the beautiful things about the internet is it does allow mass communication. And through church management systems, bulk emails, Facebook, WhatsApp, and even through church blogs, we can easily communicate directly to people so that they know that they belong, but they are informed and invited to participate in God's mission. And so bulk emailing systems a revolutionary way in which we can really connect directly to a person. A personalized message gets to them to say, you matter to God, you matter to us. This is an invitation for you to respond and be included and to participate in God's mission. Now, there are obviously safeties and security issues, which we're going to deal with next week, but there is a way in which we can engage with folk so that they receive regular engagement. And if we fall off their radar, we've lost them. But if we keep ourselves on their radar, we can influence their lives to follow Jesus. So that's a great gift for us. Number 6, it enables greater community engagement. Wow. When I think of the community that we were working with in the Cape Town area, during the pandemic, we found a congregation. It was a Catholic community who felt that they wanted to minister to their people in the area to make sure that they were fed and cared for and not alone and all that kind of stuff. And they used our church management system to break folk into groups and to put them in support systems so that they were closely in proximity to each other so that they could care for and pray for each other. And they did that exceptionally well, and that congregation grew exponentially through that period. Also, a Methodist church in the Western Cape did the same thing, and they had prayer meetings online, they had support groups, they had small groups online, they had daily devotions. They had more people doing devotional time every day than ever before because they used technology to engage with that. But you use this so that you can not only build technology to build teams and groups and engagement and communication and support, but also for care. And that is to say, where is somebody who you sat next to in church? You don't even know their name, but now you are in a group, a WhatsApp group or so, where you can pray for each other and care for each other and interact with each other immediately, not just waiting for the next Sunday to arrive, where you can just say, I didn't see you for the last 3 weeks. Are you okay? Technology makes sure that you can say, I didn't see you on Sunday. Are you okay? Or that kind of stuff. So with permissions and so on, you can engage with building each other up in love. That's the biblical picture that we have, right? So just think for a moment. Are you in a small group? Do you feel that you are in a community? And how can you personally help your church to engage with greater community engagement? And then I'm going to tell a story after you've thought about that. So here's my story. During a fire in the Western Cape area, a number of houses and shacks were burnt to the ground. Because the Anglican Church in the Diocese of Cape Town had been using the system, the bishop made a decision to send a message out. And the Archbishop joined in that, and they sent a message out to saying, does anybody wish to help this community? Here's the bank details. Here's where food and clothes, etc., could be delivered. And within 12 to 24 hours, thousands of rands were put into that account for relief, but thousands of clothes and shoes and food and a whole bunch of food was delivered. So that people could be cared for and rebuild their lives. I mean, that's just a testimony of how technology helps to mobilize the church for greater community engagement. Think about these things. Number 7, we're coming close to an end. It enables dynamic discipleship. There are fantastic tools that are available. I've written some of these. They're available on websites and that kind of stuff. Messages and sermons that folk can go to. If they miss a service on a Sunday because they're playing sport or whatever else, they can go to this and watch it again. One of the great gifts of technology is that folk can go over that message a couple of times. And some of the stuff that I've dealt with very elderly people, they've loved technology because they can watch the sermon again and again, the teaching again and again until it sinks in. And most of us know that you have to hear something 7 times before it really grabs us and sinks into our being. And so these things help us to reflect again and again, not just a message you heard on a Sunday from a live person, but if you can go and watch, in addition to the live interaction, to watch that again and again and learn from that, engage with it, mull over it and appropriate it to your lives. And so there is dynamic discipleship and disciple making. And you'll know that the Great Commission is about making disciples. And so I've got a whole lot of material on disciple making. It's available, freely available. And so a number of folk have made their resources available to you to help your churches make disciples and make disciples and make disciples and make disciples. Okay, that's the Great Commission. And we are called to that. And so Zoom groups, mobile calls, group calls, whatever else you can do to help to reflect on the message on a Sunday. 3 key questions. What did God say to you? What are you going to do about it? And who are you going to tell? Those are the 3 disciple-making questions that are revolutionizing things in the world. And if you can help people by using technology for group sessions, that you can help people to follow Jesus day by day by day and appropriate and apply the teachings of Jesus to their lives. So take a moment and just think about how you and your church is enabling dynamic discipleship to happen through using technology. Take a few seconds to think about that. I hope you've jotted down some ideas that you can be led by the Holy Spirit to enable dynamic disciple making to happen through your local church through technology. And lastly, increased productivity. The fact that technology has allowed us to connect with websites and with church management systems for communication, using calendars and all those kinds of things, it increases productivity, because no longer do you have to look for a document. You can simply search for a document, do a search engine, and find the document. You can save documents. You can retrieve documents when you want to find them, and so on. And so it's increased productivity. And we'll talk more about the use of AI, ChatGPT, and all those kind of things, and the usage of that. But it certainly has shortened research time, enabling us to then engage with that with our own mindset and led by the Spirit to use AI and other things so that we can be more effective. So it's not controlling us. And the bottom line is we are not letting technology control us, but we're controlling it. Only Jesus is Lord. Technology isn't Lord. Technology is a tool that we can use to increase our productivity. And if we are spending less time on administration, less time trying to find something that we've lost, we can then get into caring for people and building relationships with people. The more effective and efficient we are with our increased productivity, the more we can engage with people, because the kingdom of God is about people. And leveraging mobile technology gets more done in less time. That can help the church to focus its time and its staff and its energies on loving people more. All right. So as we come to an end and want to engage with some questions in a moment, I simply want to engage with a particular statement that Francis of Assisi gave to us. And that is to say, we start by doing what's necessary. We start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible. And suddenly we are doing the impossible. Okay. So wherever you are with regard to the use of technology, start where you are and do the necessary thing. Do some research, do some engaging, and be bold enough. One of the immediate fruits of the Spirit when the Pentecost happened was there was boldness and courage, that we're not intimidated by technology, simply by doing what's necessary, and do it wisely and carefully. Then you suddenly find, well, I can do this and I can do that. There's possibilities here and possibilities there. And suddenly you'll look back after a year and say, wow, I didn't know that I could do that. Now I'm doing it as normal. So think about these things. Okay. And I just want to end by just sharing with you that our team is here to help you. And Sibusiso, I should say, is an IT specialist. He's with us in this meeting, but he is also a business person. He's been involved with diocesan work in the Anglican Church at a very high level, and a man with great wisdom and integrity. Francis develops our websites and as a qualified coder. Leanne is a qualified coder, exponentially grown in her capacity to develop incredible things. And Zanelli is part of our team to assist that in growing in herself. And we're here to help you at whatever level that we can. Okay, so that's my presentation. And I'm going to see about how we can engage with some questions now. Lovely to have so many people from all over, as far as Windhoek in Namibia, and Mamelodi East, and Lesotho even. Wow. And Johannesburg. So we're very excited about the number of folk that we are engaging with across the platforms that we have. So if there are any questions that we can engage with, we'd love to hear from you in the chat group or whatever else for us to engage with these things. So I hope that today you are encouraged. God is still Lord. Jesus is still Lord. He's still the head of the church and is giving you tools, giving you opportunities to engage with disciple making and church development and growth. And these things, therefore, as you master them, and let me say to you, if you spend 100 hours on something, you are more than qualified in that space. You're professional, and you can then move into these things with confidence. So start doing a little bit by little bit. And as you grow each day, maybe an hour or two each week, maybe a Tuesday and a Friday, an hour or two each week, just engaging and growing yourself in this space, to be wise in this space. I'm encouraging you not to spend 9 hours a day on social media, but to enable these things to help you to follow Jesus and to be more effective for God and his mission. So give some time this week even to thinking about these things and reflecting on these things. Okay. So we have about 50 plus people, including the folk on Zoom and YouTube and also Teams. So we're very grateful for all of those who've participated today. Okay. If there are any questions, I will be happy to answer that. Thank you, Edmund. Appreciate that.
So, Chris, just to say a couple questions that have come through. The session will be repeated tomorrow night, so we encourage you to let other people in your space know, and even your congregation. So you're welcome to do that. And the recording of today will be on YouTube as well. So yeah, this was live stream, so you can just pick up the live stream again off YouTube, or you can contact the team and we can then just send you the links.
Thank you so much. Good to meet so many of you from all over the place. Pennington, Pretoria East, Easterist, Eastern Cape, Central City Mission. Wow, that's awesome. Table View, fantastic. Matsulu Methodist Church, East London, Hearties, Cineville, Lombardy, Mdeni, East London. So we are grateful for so many people who've connected from all over. May you be encouraged, may you be enthused, and may you follow Jesus more dynamically going forward. Okay, I'm going to call it quits for today. If there are no more questions that are coming through, look forward to just engaging with you next week. So next week, we're going to look more carefully at the using AI tools. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about that. I've used that and how I've used that and the guidelines and so on around that. And then Francis is going to be leading us into talking about how we can use social media and websites. And he's an expert in those fields, and his insights will be very helpful to you. And we hope to be helpful to you in an ongoing way. But I do encourage you to join next week. The following week, Leanne and Sibusiso will be talking about data security and usage guidelines, and for how you can set up a policy for your local church to guide those things. It's very important for that. Thanks, Tokozani. And then the church management system, Francis will be picking up on that to show how our church management system can help you going forward as well. There are many church management systems, but you can engage with us and ask questions on how to be effective in that space. So may the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Thank you. God bless. You may leave the meeting now.
We do have a hand raised from on Zoom. If anyone wants to ask or talk. Okay, another person's left. No problem.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.